Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. In this video, I will talk about entitlement management. Undoubtedly, organizations face many challenges when it comes to managing access for their users because they usually don't maintain any access workflows or access lifecycle and their expiration. This feature can help enterprises address all these challenges. Alright, let's get into it. The first question that comes to our mind is, what is entitlement management? Employees in organizations need access to various groups, application, and SharePoint Online sites to perform their job. Managing this access is challenging as requirements change. This feature can help you more efficiently manage access to groups, application, and SharePoint Online sites for internal users and also for users who are outside of your organizations. The reason why organizations need proper planning when it comes to managing access is because there are times when users hold on to access longer than is required for business purpose. Further, organizations can define who can access and whether any approval is required before access can be granted. Let me talk about access package. In short, access package is a bundle of resources that a user needs access to in order for them to perform their day-to-day tasks and duties. The resources can be an Azure AD security group, Microsoft 365 group, or Teams, an enterprise application, or a SharePoint site. During the demonstration, I will illustrate as to how you can create an access package and add all the resources in it. When it comes to the licensing part, you need to ensure that you have Azure AD Premium P2 license in your environment. This license is required for those users who are going to request for an access package and for those users who are going to approve an access package, along with those who are going to review assignments for access package. Please note, you don't need this license to create catalogs, access packages, and policies. Let me now talk about the admin roles requirement. Please ensure you have either global admin or an identity governance admin, or you must be delegated as a catalog creator to be able to manage all the aspects of entitlement management. During the demonstration, I will show you how a global admin or an identity governance admin role holder can delegate someone as a catalog creator. Alright, let's get into the demo now. I'm in the Azure AD portal, and to access Entitlement Management Blade, you have to click Identity Governance. And now we can see access packages and catalogs and some other settings. You should create a catalog first. So what is a catalog? It is a container of related resources and access packages. Let me now create a new catalog. You can enter a meaningful name and a description, and then leave the option where it says enable to yes, so that users can request for access packages, and then define whether you would like to allow external users to be able to request for access packages in this catalog. After the catalog has been created, you need to add the required resources into it. Simply click resources and then select add resources. So as I discussed earlier, a resource can be an Azure AD security group, Microsoft 365 group, or Teams, or Azure AD enterprise application, or a SharePoint site. Simply click on groups and teams and choose the group that you would like to add as a resource. So I'm going ahead with a group called Global IT, and then click select. Now I'll add a SharePoint site as well. So let me click SharePoint site, enter the name of SharePoint site, and then click Select down at the bottom. Now the resources have been added. Similarly, you can also add an application if you would like. Once the resources are added, the next step is to set up an access package. Click Access Package. So what is an access package? It is a bundle of resources that a group or a team needs access to so they can perform their day-to-day tasks. Simply click New Access Package. Enter a meaningful name and a description. Then click Next. Now you need to add the group and SharePoint site that we added earlier under the Resources section. Moreover, you can also add other groups by clicking this option, and this way you can see all the groups that you have in your environment. Once the group has been added, you can select the role that you wish to grant to the users who are going to request for this access package. Let me now add the SharePoint Online site. Once the site is added, you can select the permissions that will be granted. So I'll select Members and then hit Next. In here, you can define who can request for this access package, whether it is going to be users in your directory or users in the connected directory. Or you can go with direct assignments only. So I'll go with users in your directory. Next step is to define whether you would like to allow guest users to be able to request for this access package, or you can also select specific groups and users. I'm going ahead with the first option, that is specific groups. I already have a group called Approved Requester that I'll select, as you can see down in the list. After you have specified the users and groups, you can define if the request should be sent for approval before access is granted. And then we can also ask for the justification from the requesters. Then choose the number of approval stages. For the approver, you can either select this to be a specific user, or you can select the approver as the requester's manager. So I'll choose the specific user. The next option specifies in how many days approver has to make a decision, and the maximum that can be entered is 14 days. Meaning, if the approver does not make a decision in 14 days, the request will get auto-rejected on the 15th day, in case it is not set up to forward the request to an alternate approver. If you enable Require Approver Justification, then approver will also need to enter a justification while approving or rejecting a request. And finally, you can enable this request so that users can request for the access package. Under the requester information, you can ask certain questions from the requester while they submit a request. Let me type a question here, and then select the answer format and put a check mark where it says required. Hit Next. Under the lifecycle, you will have to define the expiration period of the resources that users will have access to. For this demonstration, I'm going to set their expiration date as 31st of January. You can even allow users to extend their access under the advanced expiration settings and choose whether approval is required for the extension of access. I will discuss about the access reviews in a separate video, but just to give you an overview, organizations can periodically review who has what sort of privileges and if those privileges should remain as it is, or are there any changes required. After all the required changes have been made, you can click Next. Click Next again. Review the access package details, and then click Create down at the bottom. Once the access package is created, click Resources Roles to go through the resources to ensure that they are correctly added. And if you click Policies, you will see the initial policy, which is nothing but the same thing that you just set up, wherein you defined who can request for access and what should be the expiration period, etc. I'm now going to show you how a user can request for an access package, but before I do that, let me show you the group membership so we can verify that this user has the permissions to request. So I will use the user account of Sandy to request, and we can see Sandy is a member of this group. Now, this user will need the URL of access package before he can submit a request. In order to find the URL, simply head to the access package. Once you click the access package name, you will see the URL. Simply copy the URL, and then Sandy will open this URL from a web browser. Sandy will need to enter his credentials. This user Sandy can see the access package and can request for the same. User will need to enter the required details and then click Request Access. Before I approve the request, I would like to show you that requester does not already have the requested permissions. One of the resources of the access package was to grant membership of this group, and we can see Sandy is currently not a member. The second resource in the access package was a SharePoint Online site. So let me open the SharePoint site, which is Central IT. So let me open the permissions of this SharePoint site. We can see that Sandy is currently not a member of the members group. I'm on the access package blade, and if I click Requests, you can see Sandy's name is appearing in the list. So being an admin, we can also click on Cancel Request from here. Let me now approve this request by either clicking the Approve button in the email notification, or you can also copy the URL and then open in the browser. So let me approve it. An approver is also required to enter the justification before the request can be approved or rejected. Now that request has been approved, the request status will get changed from pending approval to delivered. As we can see, the status is currently pending approval, and after I refresh the browser, the status is now going to change to delivered. If I check the group membership again, we should be able to see Sandy in the members list. Yep, there we are. Now let me also check the SharePoint permission to see if Sandy's name is appearing there or not. Let me refresh. Yep, so we can see Sandy has been given permission to the members group on this SharePoint site as well. So this is how the entire concept of entitlement management works. In case you would like to delegate a catalog to other users who don't have an admin role assigned, then you can do so by clicking on Catalog and then clicking Roles and Administrators. You can see what all permissions these roles provide on your screen. So we have 4 different roles. In case you would like to grant someone any permission, simply click on the role name and then select the name of user to whom you would like to assign the role. I will now assign the catalog reader role to a user named Peter. Once the role is assigned, I will log in with Peter's account to see if he can make any changes. Ideally, he should not be able to make any sort of modifications as he just has the reader role. So let me log in. Let me navigate to the Identity Governance blade. So we can see that access package is grayed out for this user, so he cannot add a new access package. Let's see if this user can add a new catalog owner to this catalog. Yep, so he got an error message which clearly indicates that he does not have enough permissions to add a new owner. Let's see if this user can add a new resource. Yep, you can see he does not have permissions. Further, you can also connect with external organizations so that users from those organizations can also request for access package. Simply add a new organization, type a meaningful name and description, select the state, and then hit next. Enter the domain name and then complete all the remaining steps. Additionally, you can view the user reports to see access packages that a user is eligible to request for or access packages that are assigned to a user. Simply select the username and then hit select. Now we can see this user is eligible to request for these two access packages. Under the settings, you can block external users from signing into your directory and can also remove external users. Lastly, you can delegate a user from this section, and that user will become the catalog creator and will be able to perform most of the administrative tasks under entitlement management. Alright, that's all I wanted to cover in this video. I really hope that you liked the video, and for more awesome videos, please subscribe to my channel. I will be back with another video. Thank you for watching and bye for now.